Got my little Spanish top on today, celebrating European Union membership.
Never heard anything about that. What's that?
Every month I celebrate a country in Europe.
Okay,
I don't.
okay.
It's bullshit, mate.
Right.
It's bullshit corner. It's bullshit corner time. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cork in the North episode. What the next one, which is I think it's 6. I don't know. I'm Andrew Ryan. Thanks very much. Our studio is coming along. We've got Father Ted, one of my favourite pubs in Cork. Dylan Moran. I love Dylan. We've got Bill Burr over there, one of my favourite American comedians. We've also got the poster of the podcast. I don't know if you can see it fully, but we got wallpaper going up. It's getting really sexy. Honest to God, I'm the new Joe Rogan. I am the new Joe Rogan. So I'm not. I'm on Spotify. But anyway, listen. We've got a great guest this week. I've got the amazing, very funny man, Mr. Sean Hegarty.
Thank you very much.
I love that subtle sort of like. Thank you very much. It's very calm, man, aren't you?
Yeah. It's better than. What about you?
Yeah. You're a very different because you were born in Donegal.
Yeah,
so you're Southern
Donegal.
Irish, living in. Well, you're from the Republic of Ireland, which is the northest part of the island.
It's weird.
And
that,
the Northern
isn't it?
Ireland is below you, but you're from the south.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
So you're from the south of Ireland, which is above the north.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's fucking
That
mental.
just sums up the politics of this island.
Yeah. And I gotta say as well, here looks absolutely lovely. Outside of this table, it's a shithole, but
this is a room. This is a room that looks like abuse has happened in the past.
Yeah.
Do you ever like think in 1985, just off the Falls Road, men have been brought in here with hoods on and being told to talk about situations that they don't.
Quite a few things have been kept in here.
Yeah, people's dreams.
But although you say a lot of abuse looks like it's happened in here, also a lot of great music from that abuse. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
both in Adele style, therapy.
Cut the fingers off, put them back on. No, it's a nice room though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely.
It's a nice studio.
It's lovely.
I do like it. I mean, you won't obviously see this because you're listening or watching, but we're in it. It's a nice room. There's a drum kit. There's sofas. It's really coming along, and it's a nice podcast studio.
It's lovely. Yeah, I like it. I like these tiny microphones too. They're like Cadbury's fingers.
Tiny little microphones, for the tiny size of the podcast that it is at the moment.
So as the podcast
grows, the microphones will get bigger.
And then you end up with some guy in a big fucking massive boom.
It's massive. Yeah, then I'll have management, PR team, social media team.
Love it. Yeah.
Now, Sean, one of the reasons why I got you on today is
I'll tell you why you got me on to discuss the painter and to see where we went from there.
Well, should we talk about the painter?
I'll talk about the painter. I don't give a shit.
Give you a bit of a summary, all right?
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, we had a comedian called Diona Doherty. Now, Sean and Diona are married.
We pump.
Married with a baby.
Yeah.
But you have 4 kids now.
I have 4 kids.
And Diona has 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why do you
have 4? Why 4? Like, it's a lot.
Well, I had 3 when I was like really young. I had my first child when I was 20. And
that's quite old for Northern Ireland, I think.
It is, yeah. Usually grandparents by then, but yeah. So I had the first child at 20, then I had another one, and then it was like, let's just have another one because life's already over. Do you know, when you start to have kids that young, it's like, I'm not going to travel away now because I can't, because I have children.
So you might as well have them all.
So I may as well have 20. I'm dead inside anyway. It doesn't matter. Wow. And then years had passed and stuff. I'd met Diona. Diona's always wanted kids. I didn't really want any more kids. I had a vasectomy.
You had the snip?
I had the full snip, yeah.
What age did you have the snip at?
Probably 25, 26.
Sean,
I know.
25, 26, you had the snip.
And they said to me as well, they said to me in the doctor's surgery, they were like, normally we don't give the snip to anybody just off the street, or willy-nilly, excuse the pun. And
these are the type of jokes that Sean does on stage. He's like a one-liner musical comedian.
So
I knew you were dying to get that in, weren't you?
I thought of it just off the top of my head, but I'm glad this is being recorded because I'll use that eventually. So to cut a long story short, that's more of a penis reduction joke, but to cut a long story short, they says to me, because you have 3 children, we will allow this to happen. And it happened, and then I regretted it almost instantly. But it was good.
When you meet Diona, when did you tell her about it? Because you know the way, like, because I watched one of those shows in America, 90 Day Fiance, and this guy was falling in love with a girl, and she wanted kids, and he wouldn't tell her that he had a vasectomy. Was it like first date? Listen, I need to let you know something.
Pretty much the first time I finished, I was like, oh, don't worry, I've had the snip. That's how it happened. It wasn't how it happened, by the way. I'm just joking, but. I think just a few weeks into our relationship, I was like, I need to tell you this. Do you know what I mean? It's something that I want you to be aware of from the start. And because we did grow very close very, very quickly, me and Diona, we met at the Edinburgh Fringe, and we met literally on the first night of the festival. So it was almost like Big Brother to us. It was a whole month of just us living in each other's pockets and just getting to know each other and hanging out in between shows. And do you know when like your people are like, you have to go and flyer between these times, and you're like, fuck off. We just go and have a coffee together and just chill out on the grass and stuff.
So even though you're both kind of like living and working here, you met in Scotland.
We met in Scotland. How weird.
It's weird, isn't it?
But before that as well, I'd gigged with her maybe 2 or 3 times before. She had booked me, or her sketch group had booked me to do sort of just sets at some of their gigs, and we had never spoke other than hiya or nice to meet you, because I was friends with Dave Elliott and Aaron Butler that was in her group, and a few of the other lads, Jordan Dunbar and whatever. But then it was only when we got to the Fringe and we had sort of been texting a couple of days before the Fringe that it was like, as soon as we met, it just snowballed. It just went on from there. So it was lovely.
And you got married a couple of years ago.
Got married, yeah. Got engaged in Edinburgh too. Like I took her up the mountain one night in Edinburgh.
Was that like a 4th date or something?
You think so?
We met in Edinburgh. 4 days later, I was engaged and had the vasectomy reversed. Now we have a baby and a house.
2 weeks into our relationship, she's 4 months pregnant. Just that's how quick I work.
That's how quick it works. Right, so you obviously you're together and you have a baby. Right, now you're doing up a house and you employ a painter. Now I've got my own story to follow up on this, but this is, I want you to set it up and tell us where we are today with the painter.
Okay, so briefly what happened was we employed this painter. Halfway through the job, he had half finished our house, and we said, right, do you know what? Diona had paid him this certain amount of money. I says, like, listen, we owe you 800 or whatever left. Do you just want it all now? And he goes, you can send me it all now if you want. And I was like, well, you're a trustworthy guy. Do you know, you've been at our house maybe 10 times by this stage. I know, I'm a shit judgy character. And then I transferred him the rest of the money. Then the next day he took off, never answered his phone or anything. We were like, this guy is in Sri Lanka. This guy is just lording it up.
He's like the Tinder swindler, isn't he? Except the painter swindler.
Yeah. So we ended up, couldn't get in touch with him for weeks and weeks and weeks. We posted his photos all over social media. He eventually gets back to us about 3 or 4 days after that. I think Diona was on the podcast. Was it the day that we posted the photos or the next day or something? So everything was still quite raw. She spoke a lot about it on this podcast. And then how it was left was his mum got in contact with me and says, right, 7th of February, we're going to send you 200 quid. And then 2 weeks later, we're going to send you the other 200. We were like, okay, that's fine. Yesterday was the 7th of February. No sign of the money. No sign of them. Phoned them both numerous times. No answer. And just as I sat down there, the woman phoned me and she just and she says, we're going to send you 100 quid this week and we'll take it from there. So we're to this minute, we're still no further on, but by the end of today, we're probably going to get 100 quid, but who knows?
Sure, that's nothing compared to that. Well, that just shows you, don't fuck with people.
Yeah.
People have your face, they have your photograph.
That's
You've got you and Diona have profile here.
Yeah.
You put it online. No one likes a con man in terms of, especially, when you're doing up a house when it's quite a, not saying a vulnerable time, but you're building your nest, your home, and you it's stressful enough as it is.
Yeah, and it's your safety blanket. It's your place where you want to feel safe. And we've put so much into this house for months.
A new baby and savings,
and this was 2 weeks before Christmas too.
2 weeks before Christmas.
Yeah,
right. So it goes up online. He gets kind of confronted, does he? Or he feels he's being confronted in like a petrol station?
Yeah, he feels paranoid, I'm sure, because the post's got, you're talking like 2,000, 2,500 likes. Do you know what I mean?
And everybody in Northern Ireland knows each other.
Yeah.
Everybody knows each other. Like Ireland, everyone knows each other. So that's only going to take an hour to be sorted.
So this went round like wildfire, just spread, everyone calling him all these names under the posts and stuff. And we were like, we're not going to get involved in name calling and we're going to try and be civil and stuff. And it just got to the point then where he phoned us and he was very remorseful. And we were just like, just fucking finish the job or just pass the money back. It's that simple.
Yeah.
That's all. That's the easiest way out of this. And it was just digging a hole and making it bigger.
I actually could have predicted what his excuse was. Yeah. What was it?
Mental health?
Yeah, that classic, mate.
Yeah.
The classic mental health excuse. Now, don't get me wrong, mental health is a very serious issue and people have serious issues. But it's the easy go-to now, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's the
It's
easy
easy
go-to.
excuse for everyone.
It's an easy excuse, I think, for people. When there's actually people out there who are very seriously ill with mental issues. And I think, I know somebody who was going out with a guy and the guy was actually seeing another girl at the same time. And she found out and she told me and she confronted him. What was his first excuse? Oh, I'm sorry, I've got mental health problems. No, you're just cheating dickhead, mate. You're just a cheating dickhead. It's a very go-to thing now, isn't it? Like, which I think is kind of wrong.
Yeah.
So that's insane. So now you've got the mothers involved. Was he massively remorseful, or was he just pissed off that he was caught, do you think?
A bit of both. He was massively remorseful, but it was almost as if he didn't know how to fix situations like this.
Do you think this was the first time he was in this situation?
No.
You think this guy
even
is
when
previous?
Even when we posted about it, people were messaging us and saying all this bad shit about him, that he did this to me.
Oh.
I know someone, he has a child of this person and he never sees the child, and it got really, really, it got really personal and really serious. And we
this
just
guy has
got to the
previous,
point, it was
massive
like,
previous.
Yeah.
But the lepers never change the spots, do they? He's just going to go on to the next person now.
Yeah.
And what about the police?
The police are still looking into it. They're kind of leaving it in our hands at the minute until we get back to them, just kind of pursue things further.
They're trying to get you to paint a picture about it, like. Hey, boom, paint a picture. 1-1.
I like it.
1-1 in puns.
I like it. That was nice.
I can write that one. You got to write that one down. I would never do that on stage. But how does that make you feel? Like that when someone comes into your house, you pay them money to do a job, and they leave. Like, I know from my experience of having something like that happen to me, I'd be embarrassed. I was embarrassed.
You would be, yeah. You actually
And
said something similar
I'll
happened
tell
to
you
you,
what
yeah.
happened to me, yeah. But like something similar happened to me. So many years ago. Now I never actually. I don't even think people in my family know about this, but I'm going to say it anyway. And I would never. I know it sounds terrible. But my mum has passed away, and I'm so happy that she doesn't know about this.
Right.
So I was living in England, and I saw an advert for an apartment, and I did what anyone did. I rang the number, and I went down, and I met the guy, and I did a viewing of the property. All good, and signed the contracts, paid the deposit, do everything you normally do. They had an office called City Living in Manchester, which was in Castlefield in Manchester. I moved into the property. 3 weeks later, I'd noticed 2 or 3 weeks later, there was a knock on the door, and there was a guy standing there, and he was like, "Oh, I'm looking for Stephen." And I was like, "Oh, sorry, there's no Stephen here." And he was like, I'm moving in here today." I was like, "Nah, you're not, man. I'm living here." Anyway, the following day, another guy knocked on the door with a girl. They were like, "James?" And I was like, and I figured out then, like
Something not right here, yeah.
click,
Yeah.
And then the Spanish guy arrived about 2 hours later and demanded to come in. And he was like, I said, "Mate, I don't know what the hell is going on. Bear in mind, this is after 5 o'clock, so the estate agent was closed. So I couldn't ring anybody." So I let him in because he seemed like a nice guy. And he was like, "I'm moving into this room, and in this room there's a guitar." I had a guitar. So he was obviously been in the room. I said, "When did you view the property?" And he was like, "Oh, 2 weeks ago."
So when you're not
while I'm at work, this estate agent is a fake estate agent. What they do is they take out an office for 3 months. They put in some dodgy furniture. They copy and paste. This is 2006, 2007 now, before smartphones. Now, before you could put someone's picture up online, right?
Yeah.
And he was renting my room out, took deposits, and did it to like 3 or 4 different flats, and then did a runner. Anyway, long story of it is that I start speaking to the Spanish guy. We realise that we've both been conned. The landlord of the property then has called the police. The police has come round because he's not been getting paid. I go back to the estate agent's office the following day. They've done a runner. So I'm down like nearly $2,000. So I'm panicking.
Jeez.
I've got nowhere to live. The landlord is basically saying you have to leave. So I went and stayed at my mate's place, packed my stuff up like 6 hours later. And 6 months down the line, he was on Crime Watch. He got caught. He got sentenced to 3 years in prison. He pleaded guilty to like defrauding 25, 26 people. He also, my case wasn't used because he pleaded guilty. They didn't need to. They just wanted to kind of see what the severity of the case was. I spoke to the prosecuting barrister he was prosecuted in Liverpool, and he told me, I said just had no remorse and stuff like that. So what's happened then is he did maybe I think 18 months in prison. He came out and did it again in London. He was then on Watchdog, is it? Or one of those shows they have, like where they Matt Allwright guy, yes, he does the investigations of like rogue traders and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was caught again with a couple of other guys robbing money off students, renting apartments. Got something like another year and a half in prison. He's out now, and I can't find him. His name is what's his name? His name is Adam Coote.
Adam Coote,
Coote, and I don't know if he's in England. He owes me $2,000 from 15 years ago.
We'll get him, won't we?
We will get him.
We'll get him.
You get your painter, I get the estate agent. It's like Irish comedians, two comedians from Ireland are like, what are we do? We are on a mission. Let's get Paddy McDonald involved as well. Like, hey boys!
We'll all get together,
Take them up the falls and teach them a few things. Like, you know, it's unbelievable, isn't it? Like, but it's so easy to be sucked in.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if people out there have been conned, or if you have been conned, let us know what sort of things have happened to you when you've been conned. You can email us at corkinthenorthpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know your stories about being conned, because, like, I'm still angry about it, but I never really told anyone. I never told anyone about it. I've never, like, spoken. I was embarrassed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I lost money. I learned from it. But anytime now, and I don't know if you're like this now, Sean, but anytime now I sign up to a mobile phone contract, or I get car insurance or home insurance, I read the terms and conditions now.
Do you?
Because I feel like people are trying to rip me off. So I'm very defensive when it comes to stuff like that.
Did you hear about someone who changed the terms and conditions? They like photoshopped this agreement between them and like a loan company, and there was something in the terms and conditions. It was like, Joe, the small letters at the bottom of the page, and he like literally went in and photoshopped and changed these words to say that he never had to pay back the bank loan, and the bank owed him all this money every month. And then whatever happened was he stopped paying. Obviously, didn't pay the loan back. They took him to court, and the judge read the terms and conditions, and the guy says, I changed them, but I mean, they're allowed to send me their terms and conditions, so I sent them mine. That's stupid of them to not read the terms and conditions when they're expecting me to. So the guy got off with it, and he got all this money and stuff for
free.
Was
he Irish? Was he Irish?
Oh, I'm sure he was.
Oh, he's definitely Irish.
Definitely from the West.
South Armagh. Was he definitely? Was he? Would you know what his name was?
I have no idea. I'm sure if you Googled it, you'd be able to find something, but
I'd love to try and find that. I love stuff like that. You know, people that are playing the system.
Yeah.
Like I remember like parking tickets and stuff. Like I used to live in an apartment complex. This one was legal and done properly by the book.
Right.
You know, you private parking companies, and they used to clamp people before it was outlawed, and we used to block the clampering.
Brilliant.
Like, you know, like
that's
just to piss them
amazing.
off for 10 minutes.
You know, that's amazing.
Well, what can you do? Like, you know, it's like, what are you
know.
clamping someone for?
Yeah.
I think it's a horrendous thing to do.
It's the lowest form of humans.
Do you ever
aren't they?
notice, like, car clampers, they all look the same.
Yeah.
They all have a similar physique.
Yeah.
Small, chubby, bald, and angry. Like,
Yeah.
they look angry.
They're all very angry.
They look like they see their kids every second weekend supervised by a social worker because of the aggression they gave to their ex.
Yeah.
You know, they all have this fucking angriness about them. I don't know why where's that DNA coming from?
I don't know. Who wants that job? Did you hear about the guy who once went to a zoo in America, and it was a big open free car park, and he built this thing on it and just started charging people in, and he charged people in for must have been 40 or 50 years, and then he had a big retirement party and stuff, and then a couple of weeks had passed, this guy had retired, and people were coming in for free every day into the zoo, and they phoned the council and they says, do you want to send somebody else down to man the car park? And they were like, what car park? And it was like, this car park was free for years, but this guy just showed up one day and just charged people in.
Yeah, well, I love it.
Genius.
I love the fact that he just went, I'm going to do this, put on a high vis, look at fish, and then people think he's part of the payroll.
And went to work Monday to Friday every single day for like 40 or 50 years.
And he must have made thousands. Did he retire and move abroad or something?
Yeah. He retired and moved to one of the Caribbean countries. It was unbelievable.
He's got a really, really big car parking company over there now, doesn't he? Like, now, it's a massive industry out there. Like, Sean, I want to talk to you about Britain's Got Talent. And I want to talk to you about Ireland's Got Talent. Okay. So, for those of you who don't know what Britain's Got Talent and Ireland's Got Talent, it's a talent show for Irish people in Ireland, and there's a British show for British people, but and there's 4 judges normally there just to big up their own profiles. No, you did Ireland first.
Yeah,
talk me through it, because I've watched the Ireland one, and you did very well.
Thanks.
Talk me through what happened there in terms of that, and then we'll talk about Britain, if Britain's Got Talent, if that's okay.
So with Ireland's Got Talent, that was the one that I applied for myself.
Yeah.
I follow Jason Byrne on Twitter. He follows me. He put a post up one day saying, like, comedians wanted, dancers wanted, singers, all this here for the first ever series of Ireland's Got Talent on TV3.
Yeah.
So I went through the whole process and stuff. I was like, do you know what? I've always wanted I watched Britain's Got Talent growing up as a child, or not as a child, but as an adult with my children, and I've always kind of, as a comedian, been like, and I'm sure you've done it too, you're like, I wonder how I would do on one of those shows. Do you know, either...
I'll tell you in a minute.
Really?
Keep going.
Right, okay. So I did Ireland's Got Talent, went down, had an amazing day, everything went according to plan. Got 4 yeses from the judges, got loads of amazing feedback. Went home, waited for the show to come out. The show came out. I was one of the final ones on the very first episode of the programme. I was one of the few, I think I was the only comedian to get through to the live semi-finals. Got through, did the live semi-finals. It didn't go according to plan. Half blame myself, half blame Ireland's Got Talent. But it didn't work out. I still got my piece though. Do you know, I have a 7 or 8 minute video which I'll cherish forever. It's like my kids being young and my son like giving me a hug before I go out and tell me he loves me and all this here. And I did them proud, and Jesus,
Sean,
I was
I'm
buzzing.
Getting emotional here. Jesus, my son telling me he loves me before I go down the hole.
So I was in the dressing room in Ireland's Got Talent, and this guy knocked the door and he goes, "This is my dressing room," and I'm like, "No, you're not." And then he took him to court. His name was. What was his name?
Adam Coote.
Adam Coote, yeah.
That would have worked so much better if you had the name there.
My memory's fucking shocking. I don't even remember what we're talking about at the minute.
But the Ireland's Got Talent, because I watched it and it was good because you got introduced by Jason.
Yeah,
which was like an MC, which is like kind of something you want.
Yeah,
which is like,
it is, yeah.
You're going on a bit warm rather than cold.
Yeah. And when someone of his stature in Ireland, comes on stage and goes, Sean Hegarty, it's like it was almost like the icing on the cake. It was nice.
Can I ask you, when you get to the live semi-final, was it a live semi-final?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you say it's half your fault, half Ireland's Got Talent's fault, what is it about your side of it that you felt was your fault?
I don't want to talk shit. I don't want to say too much, and this could be just me feeling a bit paranoid. But being from the north, I obviously felt like it was a disadvantage.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like when the telephone lines were up for people to vote live, I was posting it on social media, going, "Please vote for me." People were phoning and people were messaging me within minutes and seconds, going, "You can't get through. There's no number. It's the lines going dead."
Was it a southern number? You see.
I don't know if it was a southern number or if it was it must have been a southern number. It must have been the same as everyone else. Yeah.
So
people from the north couldn't vote. So there was that. Plus, nobody up here had access to TV3, so nobody even knew it existed until I posted about it, saying I'm going to be on Ireland's Got Talent. They have RT1, they have Network 2 or whatever, or RT2, whatever it's called now, but no one had access to TV3. So that was another factor. Then I have this little tablet that I use on stage all the time. If you've ever seen my act, I have a little tablet that I use for sound bites and stuff, and I insisted on using that myself on stage, and they were like, no, that looks quite unprofessional. Let us take it from you and we'll control it from our van out the back. And I was like, I don't know about this because I've always done it myself. Why would, when are you going to know when to come in and when are you going to know to launch my cues and stuff? So anyway, we did a few practice runs. Everything worked perfectly. Which, by the way, as well, we were doing a few dry runs in the afternoon before the live show, right? And what they did was they got 4 people who were working on the floor, whether they were runners or they were a producer or a lighting person, and they were like, would you guys sit in the judges' seats and you can test the microphones after the acts? So they went down the judges, and the judges were like, yeah, I really enjoyed it, that was funny. And then they went to one of the guys in the middle, and he was like, just didn't enjoy it. It's just, I thought it was rubbish, to be honest. Didn't like the jokes and stuff.
This is rehearsal.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like 3 hours before I'm about to go live on Irish TV, and some fucking dickhead is sitting in the judge's chair telling me that he thinks my act is shit. And I was like, so that sort of played in my mind a little bit. But then when I went out on stage, I did my act, and they fucked up most of the sound cues on me. Like most of them.
Of course they were.
Yeah. As soon as I went out, they played one of the sound cues, and I was like, what's all this about? You're not supposed to play this for another like 90 seconds. So I did the show. We all went up to the balcony, and they were like, right, they're going to interview all of you, So the presenter went up, Lucy, I forget her surname.
Black-haired girl.
Yeah, we all went up to the balcony up at the top. She went around everyone, how you think, it went, you want people to vote for you? Didn't come to me. I was the only person they didn't come to. They went to kids who were dancing together. They went to fucking people who were singing. Didn't come to me. And I think you can see me on TV standing there being like this, as if like, because she moved on and went to the ad break. And I was like, you fucking didn't even, I'm the only one here. Joe, speak to me.
Jesus.
So there was all that. Then it got to this, we're going to eliminate everyone. Everyone stood on stage. They went to me first. Bang, Sean Hegarty, you're right. And I was like, all right. So I just had to stand there. And then I came off and the guy was like, here, I'm really sorry how that went. We owe you one. That was horrific. You know, that was,
what did Jason
just
say?
didn't go according to plan. Jason came over to me after and he goes, why didn't you do the keyboard? And I was like, why didn't you fucking tell me 2 weeks ago to do the keyboard? Why after, when I've got kicked out? Do you know what I mean? I was like, I didn't want to be known as a musical comedian. I didn't want to be compared to the genius of David O'Doherty. You know, I'm saying that as in he's a genius. You know, I didn't want people to go, you're just being David O'Doherty, because David O'Doherty sings and actually plays. I don't. I just do a jingle or
and you tell your joke
play
in
sound
between the
effects.
thing. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah. So that was the end of Ireland's Got Talent. But you know what? I did the 6 o'clock show down south. I did the 3 Arena with all the fucking big acts down south. I don't know if you know about that. I did like
the showcase event.
I did. It was a comic relief.
I think they do comic relief one, yeah, but they also do a big one for the Children's Hospital as well, don't they?
I think it might have been that one.
The Temple
But you're
Street,
talking fucking
Dylan Moore and
everyone.
talking that
Yeah.
guy.
Ardal O'Hanlon, you're talking
Who books
Jason
that?
Byrne.
I need to get in contact. Just bear with me, Sean. I know Ireland's Got Talent didn't work out, but I have a career too.
I think you need to call the show Who Books That.
Just call this podcast Who Books That. So when you
Who
left
Books That?
Ireland's Got Talent, I was asked
Right.
3 times would I do Britain's Got Talent.
Right.
And each time I've said no. And I even had one time somebody asked to meet me for a coffee and they were like, Andrew, would you do Britain's Got Talent? And I went, no, I'm not doing Britain's Got Talent. I would die.
Why not? Why wouldn't you do it?
On my arse, man. I'm not suited to that.
Yeah. Do you know what?
They would look at my act and be like, well, you can't say that and you can't say that
Yeah.
and you can't say that. I'd be like, I know.
Yeah.
Like, so.
But see, when you look at the previous winners or the people who did well, it was the black person during Black Lives Matter. There was the British Army person during the whole the old man that walked up and down his garden.
Yeah.
You know, there was.
So shall I wait for Irish reunification, then go
That's
in?
what I would do. Yeah.
So there's a vote for United Ireland. Andrew's doing Britain's Got Talent. He's a shoo-in.
Yeah.
He's a shoo-in.
See if there's East Belfast Got Talent.
Is there an East Belfast Got Talent?
Bound to be.
Imagine me turning up with a GA top on. How's it going? Here, these are called euros. You'll be using them pretty soon. I'm not
Brilliant.
genuine. Do not walk around with euros in East Belfast going,
I bet you
get
do.
used to these motherfuckers. So you do Ireland's Got Talent.
Yeah.
You kind of feel a bit deflated. But then again,
50-50, Joe.
50-50,
The
right.
audition was perfect. The semi-final, not so much. Yeah. And then, like you, I was asked to do it. Britain's Got Talent. I said no. Then I was asked to do it, and I was considering doing it. And then the pandemic hit, and I went, no, I don't want to do it. There's no studio audience.
Oh, you couldn't.
Don't want to do it. No way.
You couldn't do that.
So then the third time they asked me, and they were like, we'll cover your flights, we'll cover your accommodation or whatever. Just come over and do it. You'll go straight in front of the judges. You don't have to audition or you skip all these parts in before.
They're desperate for comedians.
Yeah,
Not saying that they picked you
No,
because
but
they were
are.
desperate, but they
are, yeah.
they really
And
want to make comedy
more mainstream, I
more
think.
mainstream on that show.
Yeah. And plus, I'm sure you have the box tickers. So because I was Northern Irish or from the north, it ticks a box. Do you
And
know what I
also the phone lines are better for you.
mean? Yeah. They're actual numbers that we
Actual
can
numbers
use.
that people can contact. But what with my fans down south? They can't. There was no work and vice versa.
Yeah.
So you go over. Tell me what happens, please.
Went over, did it in the build up to it, and the whole afternoon, Joe. They were doing like interviews. They take you into these rooms and they ask you questions. Then they have you where you're backstage and you're warming up and you're getting ready to go on, and they film all this, and then they take you to the venue. So this is all. You think this is all right at the stage, but you're actually in the hotel 3 mile away. So they took me over to the venue. Seen Ant and Deck and stuff. Had a little quick chat with Ant and Deck.
What are they like?
Oh, lovely, yeah. They're lovely.
And did they know who you were walking in, or were they like, oh, here comes this guy called Sean Hegarty, he's a comedian. Okay, oh, hi, Sean. Were they
Probably
prepped
the
on
second
you?
one.
Were they prepped on you?
Probably the second one. They probably, just go over and maybe read a note going, this guy's coming up next. So I went over and they were like, hi, Sean, how you feeling? I was like, yeah, I feel good. I'm ready to go. Went out on stage. Everything went according to plan, and just one at a time, just got 4 axes. And I was like, what the fuck? This is not how I imagined this. Like, even in the build up to everything, in the interview rooms before. I felt like I was making everybody laugh and I was doing my one-liners, but I was throwing them in sort of conversationally. You know, everything was smooth, everything was good. I felt great about it, and I just got buzzed off one at a time. And then see when the fourth buzzer went off, I've never been as mortified in my life. I felt horrible. I would have, like, this is really dark, right? But say if somebody had handed me a rope, I'd have fucking threw myself off that stage. I swear to God. It was the worst I have felt. And then the worst thing is, you can't just leave the stage. You have to sit there and they tell you everything that you did wrong.
Okay, who are the judges?
Horrible. All the big ones.
Simon Cowell?
Yeah. David Williams.
Alicia Dixon?
Yeah.
And who else? Who's the other one?
Amanda Holden.
Right, so you walk out. What's the chit chat like? You know, because usually they have a few things set up for you, do they?
Yeah, well, you'd have thought so. The chit chat was weird. Simon Cowell was all, and do you have dogs? And I was like, or he says, do you have puppies? That's what he said to me. Do you have puppies? And I was
you're
like,
Northern Irish.
I don't know. I was like, what the fuck? Has he got me mixed up?
Have you had work done on your face, Simon? Let's talk about that.
Maybe he thinks I run like an illegal puppy farm or something. He's like, you're Northern Irish? Do you have a puppy farm? So he says, do you have puppies? And I was like, no, but my wife does. I like to play with them every now and again and stuff. And they were like, no, not that. I mean actual dogs. And I was like, no, I don't have dogs.
Did you get a laugh off the crowd?
Yeah, I got a bit of a laugh off the crowd. And then he said, what else was said to me? They said something else. It was strange. And then they says, so what do you do? What's your job? And I was like, I'm a comedian. And then they says, so what do you do during the day? And I was like, I just watch my wife working. And then I got a bit of a laugh. And then they says, right, you're going to play the keyboard for us today. You're going to do a bit of comedy. You know, whenever you're ready, take it away. And I just started doing the jokes, and everything went well. But looking back, the difference in Ireland's Got Talent and Britain's Got Talent is the jokes that I told were a lot quicker in Ireland's Got Talent, so people had time to get the joke before they started singing the song.
Right.
Whereas in Britain's Got Talent, I updated the jokes to newer jokes, and the jokes were too long. So by the time I'd finished the joke, people were singing almost straight away, so they didn't have time to laugh or, you know. So it just it understandably didn't work out, and
Who buzzed you first?
It's my fault. Can't remember.
Now, are you nervous about this being on telly? Or have you...
Someone phoned me. There's like a sort of welfare kind of person that phones
welfare.
you a few days after. Do you know what I mean?
You've just been on Britain's Got Talent. We now have a community mental health nurse to deal with this shit that just went down. You died on your hole. You got 4 exes. How are you feeling?
Yeah, that's pretty much what happens.
Basically.
And someone phoned me up and she was like, how are you since the show? And I was like, do you know what? I'm completely fine. When I come off stage, I fucking wanted to die. I felt humiliated. I felt, because to me it was almost as in this could be my last big opportunity to do something. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not a comedy club comedian. I do social media and stuff, but I feel like I'm at the point now where I need to hit the next level. And Britain's Got Talent was what I hoped was going to do for me, what Ireland's Got Talent was supposed to do. So she phoned me and she was like, how you feeling? I was like, I'm okay now. I went for a pint afterwards. I video called Diona. We had a chat for an hour or so, and I had 2 friends in watching the show as well. So they came out and they were like, oh, it actually didn't go that bad. You know, we thought it was good and it was funny, and the audience laughed. The audience sang along. God. But the judges just didn't like it. And the woman said, like, you know, how do you feel about it going on the show? And I was like, to be honest, I don't know. I was like, it could do things for me because people are still seeing my jokes, people are still seeing my material. I could get 1,000, 2,000 fans or whatever.
Or you could get 2,000 bits of abuse.
Could do, yeah. And then my agent phoned me a few days later and he says, like, what did she say and stuff? And I told her that I wasn't sure if I wanted it to go out, and he goes, under no circumstances is it going out. He'll make sure it doesn't go out.
So you still have final say?
Apparently. I didn't think I did. I thought I could say to them, can you please not show it?
There has to be something for comedians that be a
There has to be.
say.
Especially when you're asked to take part.
If they said to me, well, they have said to me, will you come do it? And I said, no, I'm not doing it. And they're like, so what is it about the show that makes you very hesitant? I went, because it's not right for me. It's not a platform for me. I would walk out there, like, where are you from? And I'm Cork. And then I'd be like, right, tell us your jokes. I'm like, just doesn't work. Yeah. Oh, it's great to be in England. I fly over just to use the NHS because I hear it's free to foreigners. We didn't know about that till you kept on putting it on the news. That would get me booed. But in a comedy club or a show, it's just a joke. It's just a joke.
I know.
So, like, I just know that but there's a little part of me that's a little bit of a, you know, that, how would you call it? what's that phrase? Sabotage mentality.
Self-sabotage.
I would go, right, I'm going to do it, but I'm deliberately going to do it bad. And I'm going to do a documentary on it. But then Simon Brodkin did that. You know, he dressed up as a Jewish rapper and did a Channel 4 show where he tried to blag his way to a live show by lying to see how gullible the show was. Whereas if I went out, I was going, right, give me the 5 worst jokes that I could possibly tell. And I want a hidden camera in the back, even though it would never go out on television.
Yeah.
But then I would put it out myself as a YouTube thing.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
But imagine you did that and you got through. It's a different documentary, isn't it?
The Titanic. What a great ship. You know, some of the horrendous stuff you'd say. Like,
I know.
So I have so much respect for you for doing it, man. Did you feel that the avenues were like it was your only option to do it, or
no? I knew it wasn't my only option.
Did you want to do it, or were you persuaded to do it?
A bit of both. Again, with Ireland's Got Talent doing so well, I was like, how can this fail? You know, it's tried and tested. But the only thing is, I haven't done that keyboard bit since Ireland's Got Talent. I don't do it live on stage anymore. You know, I'll maybe do it like me and you're both doing a gig this Saturday night, and I'll maybe bring it out then because it's a way of just getting the audience warmed up.
Well, if
because
I have
I'm
4
MCing,
massive
you know,
X's backstage, so as you start doing it, I just go, just keep doing massive X's at you. Please welcome Sean Hegarty.
I would just be crying more and more and getting more and more drunk throughout the night.
Ladies and gentlemen, your next act is a comedian that's recently got 4 no's off Britain's Got Talent, but give him a massive welcome tonight because he's really changed his act. It's Sean Hegarty.
Yeah, do you know what?
But you must have jokes about that now, because some people who die in their hole on it, because I know a few comics in England that have done it.
Yeah.
I know one comic who actually used to do warm-up for a chat show and did warm-up for Ant and Dec's Saturday Night Takeaway. And he did it. So before he goes on, he's like, hey, Ant, hey, Dec, chatting away. Known him for years. Mm-hmm. The production company are like, come on, man, we know you. We're going to love you. We love you anyway. He walks out, dies so bad, walks back out, and Dec are gone.
Yeah, because that's it. Because if you don't get through, they're not allowed to come over and speak to you again. It's just like right this way. Because I
did they watch you when you were on?
Yeah. They watch everyone. They have to, I'm sure.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I know.
Oh,
I know.
I've a lot of respect for you.
If anything, I got the gig on the Palladium. Do you know what I mean? I got the gig in the Palladium, which is fucking unreal. Do you know, Bob Monkhouse has done it. All the older Morecambe and Wise and Russ Abbott and just all these big,
so you got to
Tommy Cooper. I got to play the Palladium, and that's special in itself. But yeah, it just didn't go my way. I think I knew it was a big risk going in, but if you don't take big risks, you're going to stay where you are forever, aren't you?
Yeah. But I think it terrifies me, that show. Like it would terrify me. Because you're like, if you imagine going on after with someone that smashed it because they've gone, oh, my granny's just died, my dog has only got one eye, and I've lost my finger in the toaster, and I'm going to sing for you. Like, and then they smash it because it's a sympathy one. And then you walk out and go, cock and balls, walk into a pub. It's insane,
It's tough. But I'm glad I did it, but at the same time, at the time it was horrific. But looking back now, it's just a bad gig. She was devastated for me.
By the way, the painter's fucked off, and we're down a lot of money. You need to get through this. You need to get out to the semi-finals for the cash.
Yeah, she was devastated for me. Like, because when I told her as well, I think the worst thing was I kept telling her I didn't get through, and she was like, "You're joking. You're going to tell me you got through?" And I'm like, "Fucking please listen to me. I didn't get through." And she was like, "All right, okay." But
would Diona do it?
No, I don't think so. I think Diona's too far gone now to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Have you? What's that in the bag?
Oh yeah, I've got you a little present.
Oh, look at this! My first gift from a guest. 6 episodes in, previous 5 guests. Just have a think about what happened there, okay? So you've brought a gift.
Yeah, I know pink's your favourite colour and stuff, and I thought you're doing up your podcast and stuff.
Oh my god, this is a cup. Is this the I love the UDA cup?
You have to open it and see. Could be.
We've got a cup. Look at this. I'm going to close my eyes so I don't see it. Thank you so much, by the way.
You're welcome.
Score a few goals, sniff a few holes. Decky the gaff. Football manager.
Yeah.
Sean Hegarty come in. Oh, it's your character.
Yeah.
No, it's Northern Irish football, but he swears like.
Yeah. Swears like.
Do a bit.
Aye, fuck Jerry, it is what it is, mucker. Nah.
Yeah, yeah. So if I said to you, like, do you know what? That cup is going to go up next to our Cork in the North podcast cups, which you can buy soon from our merchandise shop if you're a big fan of the podcast. You are big fans, aren't you? You aren't
They
you?
are. They are.
Yeah. So we're going to put that one down here. Is that you can't see that? We'll put it up here next to my favourite pub in Cork that I can't remember the name of. I just bought it online. I can't remember the fucking. It's not the show. What pub is that? I don't know what it is, but I think it's some company anyway.
Weatherspoons.
Yeah. It's not. There's no Weatherspoons in Cork.
I'm joking. It's called a joke. Fucking chill out.
Don't fucking diss my city, man. Don't diss Cork. Not
Google
on my
it.
podcast.
Google it and get the name of this.
Well, right. You've gigged in Cork, haven't you?
Yeah, I've gigged a few times in
Don't
Cork.
see limits.
Yeah.
So you go
That's
down.
nice.
You go down with. Yeah. Cork
nice.
is Cork. You have to go down a bit more, man. Bring
Yeah.
the owner down there. I tell you bring the owner down to Cork. She'd get pregnant like that.
Would you?
Yeah.
By me or by other
No,
people?
by you. Like, there's just things in the air down there, man. There's babies popping out every bank holiday weekend. It's kicking off. We want to have a second baby. Andrew recommended we go to West Cork, and in 9 months, a baby will appear.
Sounds good.
That's what you should do, man.
Yeah.
So is Edinburgh back on your radar now because of? Are you going to go back, or is it because you've 4 kids?
I know.
You should. I found a missing kid once. You know that.
In
Yeah,
Edinburgh?
I'm not. Yeah, this is true. I found a child that was missing, and there's not many people that can say that.
That's amazing.
Can I just say I did not take the child in the first place, right?
Right,
But I
okay.
did find a child that was missing for 2 hours, which is a long time to be missing.
That is a long time. That's
Like-
I went missing one time in a shopping centre for like 3 minutes, and I had heart palpitations. I had every security guard holding my hand and comforting me. But back
Every
to your
child
story.
in Ireland has gone missing in a shopping centre. If you're a child in Ireland and you haven't gone missing, you haven't had a proper childhood. You haven't had an Irish childhood.
Yeah.
Where you've gone missing. But anyway, what happened was I was at the Edinburgh Festival, and I'll never forget it actually because it was a really strange thing that happened. So we were down at the beach in Edinburgh. What you call that beach in Edinburgh?
Beach in Edinburgh.
The beach down by Jesus Christ, Portobello Beach,
Right.
in Edinburgh. It was towards the end of the festival, and I was sick of the festival. So me and a friend of mine decided we'd get out one Saturday and we'd just go for a walk down the beach because we were just sick of the festival. So it's a beautiful warm day, very rare in Edinburgh, and we're walking along the beach. Beach is busy now. And as we're walking, about 2 or 3 minutes into the walk, I see on the right-hand side, there's a group of 5 or 6 people in their 40s, and they're kind of panicking a bit. You could just tell from their body language. And one of them is on the phone. There's 2 of them on the phone. And there's a woman there, and she's kind of like shaking. She's kind of like nervous. She's like, I don't know. So me being I'm such a nosy bastard, right? I was like, what's going on over here? Let's go over. So
It's
I'm
the
kind
Irish in you,
of
isn't it?
like looking over, and I just hear a bit of a conversation where one person says to another person, I can't remember who said what now, but they said like, he can't be that far, he can't be that far kind of thing. Like, and I just went over. And it was quite clear that they were agitated because other people were looking as well. So I just went over and said, is everything all right? And this woman just said to me, look, there's a young kid and he's gone walkabout and we can't find him and he's gone for about 2 hours. We've rung the police and the police said that, they'll pop out, but I think they can't do anything. They're on their way out, but because of his age, they're going to send out people, whatever. I can't remember what it was. So I said to them, what's he wearing? And he was wearing a 90s German football jerseys. You know the way have like the Z, the stripes on it?
Red, black and yellow.
Yeah. Now, they said he was about 8 or 9. So we just continued walking, and he had a German top on him, but he was an English kid. So we're walking along, and I'm like, oh my God, like that child is missing. 2 hours is a long time to be missing. And Portobello Beach is near a very residential area of Edinburgh, and apparently people had gone down the residential streets. So we're walking on the beach. So about 20 minutes into our walk, we're kind of getting to the end of a strand kind of area. So I'm walking along anyway, and we kind of like, not that we don't forget about the kid, like but we are conscious that something is happening on the beach. And there was a lot of people there. Next thing, about 200 yards away, there's a kid, and he's just on his own. And I'm just kind of looking, and I remember the German jersey, which was orange and kind of brown. It's like the old zigzag ones. I'm thinking, I'm pretty sure that's the kid. So we're getting closer and closer and closer, and I went, that's the kid. That has to be the kid. So I start running towards this 8-year-old kid in a German football. Never so happy in my life to see an 8-year-old child.
Hey, mate, get back here.
Mama's looking for you, baby. There better be a fucking reward because Edinburgh is very expensive and my accommodation this month has cost me $2,000. So I walk up to him and I said, excuse me, man. I said, are you looking for your parents? And he just went, yeah. Now, there was a lot of rocks, so he'd obviously gone over. So I said, look, your parents are up there. They're looking for you. Do you want to just come back with us? So I'm bringing this kid back, and there's three of us now walking up, me, my mate, and the kid. And we're just chatting to him, like, I'm thinking, oh, this is amazing. We're going to return a missing kid. Like, I've never, like, this is cool. Like, I'm going to make someone's day, right? But then the thing comes into your head, like, why was he running away in the first place? Were the parents, like, really weird and strict? So we're bringing him up. And as we're walking up the strand, anyway, I'm like, so you like football, do you? You know, like, how do you talk to a kid that's not yours? Like, it's very warm today, isn't it? Like, you know, and he's quite quiet and nervous. Like, he's obviously got lost and he probably just ran off, you know. Like, I didn't want to ask. So we go back to where we originally saw the group of parents and they were all gone. So they'd obviously gone off looking again.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, shit, like, the parents were here. But now they've obviously moved off. So by the time we walk 20 minutes down and walk 20 minutes back, that's 40 minutes. Yeah, therefore, you imagine now he's missing 2 hours, 40 minutes, right? So there's ice cream vans and there's some seating. So we decide, look, we'll just stay here and wait. We asked him, he didn't have a phone on him or anything like that. So I go, do you want an ice cream? I'm thinking, what am I doing here now? Like, this is costing me money. Like, this is costing me money. It's not even my child. And it's costing me money. Edinburgh robs you everywhere. So I go up. He said he doesn't want an ice cream, but I got him a can of Coke. So we're sitting down.
Show, no?
We're sitting down. No, we took him to. It was actually while we were waiting for his parents. I got him flyering.
You're flyering.
Hey, look, your parents don't love you. Flyer my show. Like, so anyway, about 5 minutes later, the mum comes back, and I see her in the distance, and my mate goes up, and she comes running over, and then another woman comes running over. And she comes running over, and as soon as she saw the child, you could just see the relief. And then a little bit of commotion starts. And I'm just kind of like thinking to myself, she comes over, she gives him a hug. It's like, you all right? She goes, where did you go? Like, she then got angry at him, which I think is quite a natural reaction, isn't it? Like, you know, there's an old joke they did in Ireland, Brendan Grace used to do. My mother, the more she'd love me, the more she'd hit me. Like, you know, don't cross the road, you could get hurt. You know, that's an old joke, isn't it? Like an old Brendan Grace joke or something like that. Yeah. But she wasn't angry at him, but very like, Jesus Christ, like, what the hell are you doing and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, people converge, everyone's cool, and everyone's like, okay, and then someone rings the police to say that we found them and all that. And then I'm just standing there, and she kind of looks at me, and she kind of went, oh. I said, yeah, we were just up there, and we saw him, and we just decided we'd walk him back. And she was like, oh, thanks very much. Does anybody know who gave him the Coke? Because he's not supposed to drink Coke.
Jesus.
I swear to God.
There's nothing worse.
He's not supposed to be drinking Coke. And I was just like, damn it. I'm off. This is fucking weird. So that night at Edinburgh Festival, I told the story and said I had no jokes about it because it just happened. I was like, I'm after finding a missing kid, and the mother was a bitch. No wonder the little fecker ran away. Like, but she had a go then about the can of Coke because it was a full fat Coke. Now we're talking 2016 before Coke Zero.
Yeah, like,
you know what I mean. So found the missing kid, man.
Unbelievable. Fair play.
And the mother was a right bitch about it.
Yeah,
like.
There's nothing worse though when you do a nice deed and somebody doesn't appreciate it.
But I think she was upset. And I don't think she realised, I think she was angry and agitated. And the last thing she probably thought was like, oh, I need to, like, don't get me wrong, like, I mean, we're comedians, we're all needy. You know, I wasn't expecting her to go, oh my God, that is amazing. I'll transfer you a deposit for a house as a thank you. Like, it was just a bit like, who gave him the Coke? Like, because she probably wondered, did a weird man give him the Coke?
Well, it did.
I'm just standing there going, right, I found the child, my work is done for the day. So that's crazy, man. It's insane, isn't it?
Yeah, I fully would have roughed the kid up, when I found him, and then, when you carry them in your arms and you're like running back, that's what I would have done.
Yeah. So I recently applied for a job as the person to look for Madeleine McCann because I have a success rate of 1 out of 1. So if there's anybody out there has missing children, please let me know.
Just a 24 pack of Coke.
24 pack of Coke.
Full fat.
Give me a full fat Coke and we will find your missing. I tell you, send me to Portugal, I will find Madeleine McCann.
Yeah. I believe you would. I
Do you
believe you
know?
would.
I don't know what. Let's not start talking about that.
Probably
case.
living in your fucking landlord's house.
Probably older than you now.
Madeline McCann. How could she be older than me? I was older than her when she went missing. Age doesn't work like that, Sean. That's producer Sean, who doesn't understand the concept of time and the age. How old are you, Sean? 25. This guy hasn't fucking lived. How old are you?
That's
How old are you, Sean?
38.
You're 38.
38.
And you're married?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm 39. Happy.
Single.
I'm dying alone.
With a successful podcast.
Yeah, but I have a
hopefully.
very. But that guy now, he's my pen pal at 8 year old. We just send him each other emails and stuff. But it's insane.
Every
though.
time Germany play, you're
Every
like,
time German. I remember when I found he wasn't even German.
he's English?
He was English. He was an English kid wearing a German top. I mean, that family must have brought him up very differently. Like,
Very.
But yeah. But listen, Sean, thanks for coming on the podcast,
Pleasure, man.
And thanks
Anytime.
for listening. I'm so happy that you haven't got the resolution to the paint issue.
We're getting there.
But you're getting there. But listen, if you need anyone to do anything, or, I know some people. Paddy McDonald, comedian, we can call around.
Sounds good to me.
And we can make this guy an offer he can't refuse.
Sounds good.
But I'm glad you got it sorted.
Here, let me say as well, before I go, me and you, we did the Fringe about 11, 12 years ago. You were doing
starting out, like,
double show with Joe Lycett.
Me and Joe, when I was starting out, I had to do a half an hour and I only had about 15 minutes.
Well, you let me flyer at your show every night because you came to see me do a set somewhere and you really liked me, and you let me flyer after your show every single night when it was sold out. So I'll never forget that. So thanks very much for that.
Oh, there you go now.
There you go.
There you go. And Sean was actually the 8-year-old child that I found as well. Did I remember that actually down the White Horse on the because obviously Joe Lycett, who was a good friend of mine and obviously an international superstar and very talented man. We were doing that free show and we used to. I mean, it was terrifying. You know, when you're starting out.
Of course. I know.
I mean, now it's like whatever. But when you're starting out, and I'm glad, like, you know, the thing is, whenever I go to Edinburgh and stuff like that, or any places, and I'd like to think other people do it the same for me as well, as I always like to, when I see Irish acts especially, and I go, look, it's tough, like, it's a fucking tough slog, comedy. And if I was very lucky to be on the bill with Joe, who I will say was probably drawing in most of the crowd. But there was some night, and what we used to do is I used to go on first, so that the audience wouldn't leave because they were still waiting for Joe. Because we were just learning our trade. You know, like Joe became really famous obviously a couple of years later, and you know, and I'm still very happy. But anyway, listen, Sean, that's a nice story. And listen, thanks very much for bringing the cup, man.
No problem, man.
And we really do appreciate it. So, Sean, your Instagram and your Twitter, because I know you do a lot online and stuff like that because you do your jokes and stuff. So your Instagram is, and we'll put it up on the YouTube video as well.
Sounds good, man. Yeah, thanks. Just search my name, Sean Hegarty. Simple as that.
Just type in Sean Hegarty, Britain's Got Talent, extra behind the scenes clips. And then you just see a social worker calling up to the house for his aftercare.
Search Sean Hegarty, 4 Nose.
Sean Hegarty. Do you know what? That's your next show.
That's my next
Sean
show.
Hegarty, 4 Nose.
4 Nose.
Creating content, massive content. But ladies and gentlemen, listen, thanks very much for subscribing, watching and sharing Cork and the Art podcast. New episode out next week as well. I really, really do appreciate you. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the studio is really coming along. And next week we're going to have wallpaper up. It's going to be amazing. And we might actually have, you know, some fresh water or coffee or something. I mean, 2020.
I had to bring my own. I said to the owner this morning, I was like, I take it you get a coffee down here? She goes, no, nothing. I was like, right. Just bring water.
You know, you're very anti-Southern Irish, Sean. You know, has anyone ever told you? You don't like the
just
Irish
get
Got
coffee.
Talent because of the phone lines. No, you don't like the fact that I don't give you water.
Like, there's
well, do you know what
coffee
you
there,
people should
but
be?
you
You should have
just-
given us an island for fucking peace, mate. Growing up in this backdrop. Anyway, thanks very much for listening to Cork and the North podcast. Back again soon. Thank you very much, everyone. Cheers.